finally heard the voice of Johan. Do you want to share who that is?
Yeah. Well, actually, we looked for Johan everywhere. You know, we have. I originally thought of an actual German actor to play him and so forth, but unfortunately, the German actor we tried, the vocal quality exactly matched, no matter what he did or what we did, matched the hissing effects of Johan's mechanical mouth and bowels. So at the end of the day, it sounded like a prolonged stomach cramp or a fart. It was like a strange gaseous sound. So I kept looking for someone, and one good day I had an insane idea that fortunately came to fruition, and I contacted Seth MacFarlane to do the voice. So now Seth MacFarlane is the voice of Johan.
So this was a reunion of sorts for everybody. How much more epic did it feel on set this time around?
For me, it was much more difficult to shoot this one than the first one because obviously I have disgustingly gained weight, I guess, and I'm older, so both things, but also on top of that, the first movie was ambitious. We got it to be the size it got to be at 66 million after rebate, which, you know, just tells you how tragic budgeting those are. And this one, we knew we wanted it to be 2-3 times bigger. I wrote some really crazy scenes that were being dropped, and when the time came for it not to drop anymore, we still got back with an $85 million budget. And I had to make it compete with movies that are costing this summer 2-3 times that. So that took a toll on my gonads. They were punched and crunched every day. Responsible people. That is my end of the story.
What about the rest of you guys? How was it getting back together?
Fun.
Doug?
Yeah, it was really good. We feel like family, more so now than ever before. And families do get together. Families have issues, right? So we've been through everything a family goes through, I think.
No, it was great to be back, and we didn't have any issues. No, it was love.
It was great. I mean, there were a couple of times there we didn't think it was going to happen. A couple times that Guillermo assured me, you know, let's just, okay, that's it, we're done. And then kind of unexpectedly, we were there. So it wasn't easy, but it was great.
Yeah, we had a couple of set pieces that went on much longer, much bigger. We have a creature that I happen to love very much. It was a 10-foot tall, 3-headed bulldog that we had to drop. I liked it because he was in the background licking himself. And I needed to put that in a movie, because perhaps without the red part poking out, but certainly a massive, giant 3-headed dog causes envy in everyone, you know. At any rate, some things were sacrificed. But it was great.
What kind of physical toll did everybody take on this movie, starting down at the end of the movie? What kind of physical toll did the movie take, being in costume makeup the whole time?
I have to say, like, I haven't done a role yet where Guillermo doesn't push every boundary, like the makeup and physicality of fighting within the costume. It looks great, and then you don't realize its limitations till the film is rolling. So, but it was, you know, Guillermo always insists on giving you the time to prepare and getting it right. And so, like on Blade 2, we did the same thing. I had 9-10 weeks to get it ready, so I just was dying to go on set and showing what we'd come up with.
And physically, I think I gained a couple of stretch marks in the process.
What about Ron? You're walking around with the prosthetics on the whole time.
Which prosthetic are you referring to?
The marquee.
How did the word get out that I use a prosthetic?
prosthetic. Oh, you mean the makeup? Listen, at the end of the day, and this is something that I became, you know,
He has a great voice.
acutely aware of. I'm going to sing a couple of numbers later. I do take credit cards. I would imagine that there were more than a handful of guys that wish they were me. You know, whatever little annoyances or prices one has to pay to get onto that set every day and work with this guy on that character, on that movie, is a tiny price to pay. It's a small sacrifice. You know, the hardest part of it for me was I was just so eager to get to the set every day and say the words that Guillermo wrote. And sometimes I got a little bit impatient, and sometimes I lost my temper a little bit.
He kicked me.
Never in front of me.
Kicked me hard.
But you know, I'm happiest when it's hard. You know,
For that moment, Cialis.
Mike, how rewarding is it to see your vision ultimately portrayed in not one but like 2 movies and possibly a big franchise?
Well, I'm a pretty lucky boy. The fact that we got to do it once was beyond anything I really expected, and the second one is so much bigger. And just the fact that I've got a chance to work on these 2 pictures has been, you know, great. The strange thing on this picture was I lost sight almost completely that I had created, you know, these characters, and I commented one day, Ron's Hellboy had the coat on and no shirt, which is the way I'd drawn, and I said, oh, that looks like, you know, my thing. And somebody else had to point out the whole lineup is your guy. So at this point, it almost feels like they're his characters in all but legal, you know, way.
And receivers.
In all but royalty sort of fashion. I want to open it up to the audience if you guys are cool with that, and hear what you guys have to ask.
Wow.
He's back, so he's back. Alright, so
Hello, is this on? Hi, I'm a big fan of all your movies. I've been watching them for years, and I just want to say I really like them. And I'm also a huge fan of Mr. Jones there, and I was kind of curious, you know, you're not a bad-looking guy. Why do you always got to be covered up by some freakish monster form thing? You know, why don't you walk out, not be a fish or a fawn or a faceless freak?
Thank you. Well, look at me. Why wouldn't you cover this face up?
Yeah, that's creepy.
No, thank you.